Hi everyone, it's me, Bon, and welcome to my 4th daily edition. In this daily edition, I'll be talking about the 7 rules of purchasing that was presented in the meeting by Minto, was rather like sent in the group. So, these 7 rules include 1. Buy only what you need. 2. Compare suppliers. 3. Negotiate payment terms. 4. Consider the total cost. 5. Choose the right batch size. 6. Match purchases to customer demand. And 7. Weigh opportunity costs. So I'm gonna talk about each rule one by one and give my own explanation and understanding of how these rules work. Firstly, it's buy only what you need. So for a business, for example, let's say coffee business, the coffee industry or the beverage industry, if the company doesn't buy what they need, for example, let's say a business sells matcha, but they buy cocoa powder, which is not necessary and not needed, which means it will be a waste for the company and they would lose money and customers because customers would want, like for example, there's a huge sign saying selling matcha, but when customers come in, it's only selling cocoa. So it's really a disappointment and it will lead to a lot of negative thoughts or negative impressions about the business. Secondly, compare suppliers. This is because in the meeting last week, Minto asked us between 2 suppliers. One is cheap and really fast to respond, but not really high quality. The other one is a bit more expensive but is higher quality. So she asked us if we were to choose which one. So I think that the comparing of suppliers here means that even though the other supplier who has higher prices but also higher quality is more expensive and can cause a bit of trouble, only a bit, to the company regarding financial problems in the starting stages, I think that in the long term, if we compare suppliers and we pick the more quality one, our product would be noted as more special, having more of a quality instead of having cheap, affordable street food quality items. Thirdly, negotiate payment terms. So there's also the thing that where people can pay all at once, they can pay in chunks, they can pay with interest, depends on the agreement between the supplier and the buyer. However, this means that we need to work with suppliers so that we ensure that we get a fair price for our products that we bought from them, as well as the fact that the suppliers will need to have a more stabilized profit that they will have benefited from. So this means that I would need to balance both sides' interests. For the interest that my side has, for example, let's say having more items in this genre, maybe the manga genre. However, the artist wants this price, for example, $100 for 150 pages of his art, maybe. However, we will only want around 75. So a common technique would be to meet in the middle or around 85 for this. This means that we both have a little bit similarity between our wants and we still get what we want for a fair price. Now, fourth, consider the total cost. Sometimes when we buy items, we can buy them small chunks or maybe receive them as a whole. Sometimes when, for example, our business, if we try and buy everything at once, there's the risk of computers overloading, for example. However, if we conceive it in chunks, it'll be lighter. However, the price of smaller chunks might not be as cheap as the bigger chunks, meaning that if we buy multiple small chunks, let's say one small chunk is $2, but one big chunk consists of 3 small chunks, but it's only $5. That means that for every 3 small chunks that we buy, we're losing out on $1, which is not good because if this adds up, our business is gonna lose a lot of money. Now, 5, choose the right batch size. So it's kind of relevant to what I just said on the earlier rule, that we need to trust, like we need to control our batch sizes. If the batch size is too big, it might like cause waste. If it's too small, it can cause shortage and like the unpleasantness in customers, etc. Now, sixth rule, match the purchases to customer demand. As I told in the example in the first question, I said that if a business selling matcha was trying to sell cocoa instead, this would mean that the customers would be really unhappy. So this rule just says that if you're selling matcha, just buy matcha, not cocoa. So for me, this means that if my customer wants a design on the website, I should just give him the website and the design, not just play around and then give him like a software or coding, which will make him very unhappy, her very unhappy, and possibly make me lose a few customers. Lastly, weighing opportunity cost. So opportunity cost is like a factor in the time value of money, in which that if we buy A, we're gonna miss out on B, C, D, E, etc. So what this means for me is that if I choose to do this customer's project, I can miss out on making profit on the other customer's project. But if I try and do both at the same time, they'll result in low quality and make both of them unhappy, which is why I can only focus on one of them at the time. So that's opportunity cost. I don't know what I'm missing out, or like I know what I'm missing out, but I'm still choosing this side because it gives me more benefits. So that's all for my DE4. Thank you for listening and have a nice day. Bye.